welcome to the video. So first I'd like to remind you of what we did in class and where we stopped. So we had actually barely started the level and now we have to carry on like this. Well, we're still in Unit 1, getting to know you. You see we briefly reviewed tenses, you see here, so tenses of the past and present and some future forms, and then we proceeded to focus on question words and their meanings. So for example, as you see here, right, we have seen together the difference between what and which, for instance. Yes, so if you remember, I told you that basically we use which and not what when you have a limited list, that is limited choice, right? For example, which pen is yours, the blue one or the red one? Okay. How often, to ask about the frequency of an action, right? How often do you go to the gym? Every day. You see, the frequency of the action. How is the action actually repeated? You see? Or where as well, to ask about the place, etc. On page 13, we try to review and practice some social expressions that you find in everyday situations. We tried to keep a conversation going in practice, you see, not just stopping at one or two comments, continuing the conversation as much as possible. We covered the vocabulary section, and if you remember, I encouraged you to have some space, right, in your notebook or wherever, where you keep new words, new vocabulary, okay? And I also encouraged you to use a good dictionary, and I explained to you what a good dictionary offers. For example, it offers you different meanings to one word. It gives you a context to the word, placing the word in a sentence as an example. So all this can make up a good dictionary. In the same section, so on page 12 of your student book, I had asked you to do number 5 here as homework. So in here you had to actually come up with a few sentences, putting the words here, you see, in 2 sentences with 2 different meanings of the word. For example, you have here the word date, and you see, I met my husband on a blind date, and then the same word, dates and raisins are good for you. So here, date is refers actually to meeting, a blind date, okay, so meeting someone with the potential of a relationship, yes, and here date is completely different, you see, it's the same word, same spelling, same pronunciation, but the meaning is entirely different. So here we're talking about a kind of fruit, yes. Okay, so you're supposed to do the same with these words here. So offer 2 sentences and 2 different meanings to the word. So please send me this work and I will give you feedback. Well, we also did part of the reading section, and you see here I also had asked you to do something as homework, right? And it's here, it's number 3, page 10. So you have to pick one of the 2 texts to read, either Sally's answers or Dominic's answers. And then after reading the text, you answer the questions here from 1 to 9. And of course, you send me those answers. Well, before moving on to the listening section of the unit, there is this part that is important to cover, a part of the reading section, and this is on page 11 of your student book. So it is a vocabulary activity related to the reading, okay, related to the text. So here we actually have two sentences, right? Sally was interested. Sally was interesting. You see, the beginning is actually exactly the same, except the very end of the last word, the suffix that is different. So here you have interested and interesting. So first you're going to match these two lines with one line from the two here. So you pause the video to think. So Sally was interested, so she asked him a lot of questions. The second, Sally was interesting because she was funny and made him laugh. So you see here the difference is that in the first one we have the ed ending to the adjective, because these two words, interested and interesting, are adjectives. So interested refers to an emotion, a feeling. You see, Sally was interested, she felt interested. All right, she felt interested, so the result of this is that she asked a lot of questions. You see, she was interested, she was curious, okay, curious about the other person, about Dominic. Now, in the second sentence, Sally was interesting, so you have the thing that provokes the emotion, you see, right? And Sally is the one provoking the emotion here. Sally was interesting. Why was she interesting? Because she was funny and made him laugh. So here we're no longer talking about an emotion or a feeling. Alright, so I'll try to make this clearer with these two other examples I'm giving you here. Sorry. So you have I'm bored and I'm boring. So tremendous great difference between the two. You see, when you say I'm bored, it's an emotion. So imagine, or actually don't imagine, you are at home, you are quarantined because of the virus, you have nothing to do, you cannot go out, there's nothing interesting, you don't work, so what do you feel? Nothing interesting to do, so I'm bored. You can say I'm bored, right? And if you say I'm boring, it's something completely different. So you are a boring person, you're not an interesting person, you're not good company to others. So when others are around you, they don't feel interested, they I don't know, they don't find you interesting, they don't find you funny. So when you say I'm boring, it means I'm not an interesting person, I'm not good company. So you see the difference between ed, an adjective with ed, bored, it's an emotion, ing, it's that you it actually is an adjective that signals provoking an emotion. Okay, let's see now with other sentences. You see here in number 8, you complete the adjectives with ed or ing. So you always pause the video a little bit, try to answer it yourself, and then you carry on. Okay, number 1, thank you, that lesson was really, can we say interested here with ed? The lesson, interested, remember ed, it's an emotion. Can the lesson feel interested, feel anything at all? No. So the lesson was interesting, so it provoked questions in the classroom, curiosity, so interesting, ing. Number 2, it's my birthday tomorrow, so I'm very, what is your feeling? I'm very excited, ed. Number 3, look at the view, it's amazing, ing. So it provokes that wonder in me, right? So it's not the view that feels anything. Okay? Number 4, I didn't like her boyfriend. He was very, not bored, right? But boring. So I didn't like his company, right? Number 5, don't be embarrassed. Everyone cries sometimes. Don't be embarrassed, so don't feel bad. I say the word feel bad about crying. It's okay, you see? So that's it for this part. And now the listening and speaking section on page 9. So the listening of the section is titled My Oldest Friend. So when you hear the word friend, what is it that comes to your mind? What are the words that you associate with this word friend? Take a moment to think. So when you say friend and the words that you can associate with the word, right, there's no right or wrong answer, huh? Okay, so you might think of the word fun. So when you're with your friends, you have a great time, you have great fun together, you see. You can think of the word company, so you're not alone. You can think of support, so they can be of emotional support to you, I don't know, psychological support, so great help to you. You can think of the word loyalty as well, so they're on your side, they're with you, right? They don't abandon you. We also have the word advice, maybe, yeah, so they can give you some pieces of advice in relation to problems that you have and so on, and you can do that to them as well. The word sharing, so you share moments of your life with them, you share the good and the bad with them, right? There's the word trust as well, so you trust your friends, you actually can trust them with your secrets, so you know they're not going to deceive you, okay? And you can have the activity of hanging out, so you meet with your friends outside, you hang out in public places. This is the meaning of hanging out. These are just a few examples. So in number 1 here, you have this activity that you're going to, these questions actually that you're going to answer in the comments section. So you put your answers in the comments. Write down the names of some of your friends. So tell me their names and tell me why do you, or answer the question, why do you like them? When did you first meet them? And who's your oldest friend? So giving you an example about my friends, okay, here. Hodia and Yasmin are my friends. I like them because they're great company, they're very understanding, interesting, funny and kind. I first met Hodia some 15 years ago and Yasmin in 2018, so 2 years ago. So my oldest friend is Hodia. So you see, when you say oldest friend, it does not, we're not referring about age here. No, you see, met her 15 years ago, in comparison to 2 years ago, so she's my oldest friend. So you're just going to do the same in the comments. So in the listening, 3 people are talking about their oldest friend. Look at the pictures. So let's have a look at the pictures to see who they are talking to and who they're talking about. So let's see the first picture. We have 3 names, Pete, Judy, and Kenny. So this is Judy, right? Judy. Kenny is here, and this is Pete. Who's talking? Right, let's see the speech bubble. Okay, so Kenny is talking. Talking to whom? He's talking to Jenny about Pete. What about the second picture? Have a look at it. Yes. So Damien here is talking to Toby about Zach. Last one. Katie here is talking to Beth about Katie and Beth, so about themselves. Now you're going to listen to the three conversations, okay? Listen to their conversations and try to make notes. Make notes about what? About three things. So when and where did they first or did they meet their oldest friend? Okay, when and where they met, and what did they like about them? Okay, so you make notes, and you just have to pause the video after each conversation and try to make these notes: when, where, and why they like them.
1. Kenny talking to Judy.
Kenny, I see you have more than 300 friends on Facebook.
Amazing, isn't it? I don't know how it happened. I think it's because my job takes me all over the world and I make friends wherever I go.
I travel too, but I don't have that many friends.
Come on, Judy. I'm your friend. That's one friend at least.
But what about close friends? How many of the 300 are close?
I have no idea.
No idea. More than 10? More than 20?
Probably no more than 10 really close friends.
So, who's your oldest friend?
That's easy. Pete's my oldest friend. Since we were both 16 and he came to my school. He lives in Canada now, but he was best man at my wedding and I was best man at his.
How often do you see him?
Not often. Maybe once or twice a year. I went over to Canada last year when his son was born. Do you know he named him Ken after me?
Hey, that's lovely. You and Pete are really good friends, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
It's our love of football.
Don't tell me. He supports Liverpool too.
Of course. Best team in the world. No, seriously, the best thing about Pete is that maybe we don't see each other for months, even years. But when we get together, immediately we're talking...
About football.
No, about all kinds of things. Our families mainly. He's a great guy.
2. Damien talking to Toby.
Am I your best friend?
No, silly. You're my brother.
I'm not silly. Can't I be your best friend?
No, you can't. No one's best friends with his brother.
But I don't have many friends.
That's your problem. Look, I'm going to meet Thomas and the gang now.
Is Thomas your best friend?
No.
Is he your oldest friend?
No. Zach's my oldest friend. You know that, since we sat next to each other in Class 1. Zach and me are going to travel the world together when we finish school.
Can I come?
No, you can't. Just shut...
Well, can Thomas be my friend?
Toby, be quiet about friends. Oh, you're so boring. I'm not surprised you have no friends.
But can I...
No. I'm off. See ya.
But...
3. Katie talking to Beth.
Katie, you're lucky. You have so many friends.
I suppose so. I do have quite a lot.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm not sure. I think I kind of collect friends. I have friends from all different times in my life. You know, school, university, and now at work. And I keep my friends.
So, who's your oldest friend?
You are, of course. You and me, Beth. We're the same age, 24. And you could say we met before we were born.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah, our mums met when they were...
I know, they met at the hospital when they went for checkups before we were born.
Yeah, and we were born on the same day.
I know, but I'm 10 hours older than you.
That's why you're wiser than me. You're my oldest and my best friend. You're like a sister to me.
Aww.
So Kenny's oldest friend is Pete. And where did they meet? They met at school. And why do they like each other? They had the same love of football, just football. right? The second person here is Damien. So Damien's oldest friend is Zach, and they met at school exactly in class 1. But Damien does not mention why he likes Zach. And finally, Katie. So Katie's oldest friend is Beth, and they met before they were born. So they met when their mothers met first, and their mothers were pregnant, so they were at the hospital, and the mothers met first, and later on the two girls. Why do they like each other? They just say they are like sisters. Now you read these questions in number 4. So there are questions from 1 to 10. You just read these questions and you repeat the video. That is, you repeat the listening and you try to answer these questions. And now I'm going to give you the answers. So first question, who has a lot of friends on Facebook? It's Kenny. And how many friends does he have? About 300. Number 2, whose moms met before they were born? So Katie and Beth. Number 3, who's going to travel the world with a friend? It's Damien. Number 4, whose oldest friend lives in Canada? It's Kenny's. Number 5, who's talking to their oldest friend? It's Katie, or Beth as well. He's talking to her oldest friend, Katie or Beth. Where did I stop? Number 6, I guess. Yes, number 6. Who doesn't have many friends? This is poor Toby, yeah? Poor little boy. Number 7. Which friends don't see each other very often? So it is Kenny and Pete. So you see, Pete lives in Canada, yeah? So they don't see each other very often. Number 8. Who named his son after the friend? It's Pete. Pete named his son after Kenny, his friend. So he named his son Ken, like Kenny, you see? Number 9. Whose friend is like a sister? That's Katie's. And finally, whose brother is boring? Right? It is Damien's brother, who's accused of being boring. Now the last point in the listening, number 5 here. So you put the words in the right order to make sentences about the people. So you have here the beginning of the sentence. Number 1, it begins with Pete. So you keep Pete and then you order or you reorganize these words that come after to form a sentence. Of course, this is from the listening, huh? Okay, so you pause the video, take a moment. And now the answers. Pete named his son after his best friend Ken. Toby wants to travel the world with his brother. Finally, Katie has friends from different times in her life. That's it for now. Do not forget to put in the comments answers about your friends and to send me the homework related to the reading and to the vocabulary. See you in the next video.